Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everybody, and welcome to Sunday Talk with Tony. It's a great day today because at the World Cup, African team have been performing very well. So hopefully you've been watching, paying attention, right? So 9 out of 10 moving out of knockout stages. Excellent. Let me ask you a very simple question for us to start. So imagine your family owns a beautiful mango farm, and every year what you have is truck coming, right? They collect all your mangoes and they pay you just enough to survive. And someone else will come and will make the juice, the jam, the dessert, and that person will earn 10 times more than you. So I bet you won't be happy about that, right? But for decades, Africa has done business this way, very similar, with many of its natural resources. We talk about gold, bauxite, lithium, cobalt. We export those raw material while others actually create most of the value. But perhaps this story it's about to change. Right. Today, I'd like to talk to you about the recent decision we have in Guinea to suspend the raw gold export while they're reviewing mining contracts. And I'll tell you why this could matter more than we think for the future of Africa clean energy economy. So let me just come back to you shortly, right? Excellent. Hello, everybody. How are you doing? My name is Tony. I'm the founder and CEO of RIA. What we do is very simple. We raise awareness about renewable energy and sustainability. If you're interested to break, expand into Africa, we are your eco-bridges market. We can help you with three things: the visibility, the leads, and the deals. Or if you want to decarbonize, we gain your eco-bridge sustainable pathway, and we can help you with carbon footprint assessment and carbon reduction strategies. So reach out to us. We will be very happy to talk to you about that. But to kickstart, obviously, this video or the session that we have today, I'd like to show you a 1 minute video, which is talking about what we recently saw in Guinea, and we'll be able to make some further comments about that. Right? Let me first of all just share my screen, and after that, we can all watch it and see what's happening there. Yeah, let's go.
Guinea has outlawed the export of raw gold in a bid to increase domestic processing of the valuable natural resource. Announcing the ban, President Mamadi Doumbouya said the people of Guinea deserve to see their wealth contribute to their development. The move is part of a push to assert control over the mining sector and to increase revenue by maximizing the value of gold production. Doumbouya said the country's first gold refinery is near completion outside the capital Conakry, with a capacity of some 250 tons a year. Foreign companies working in Guinea have been warned they could lose their license if they violate the new law. But most of the country's gold is mined by small-scale artisanal miners who are harder to regulate.
Okay, this is actually giving us the information that we wanted to see, right? So you've seen what's happening in Guinea, and it's pretty interesting. Yeah. Now, if we put that into context, so Guinea is not saying we don't want mining. It's simply asking a very different question. So, how can mining create more value inside Guinea before the minerals leave the country, right? And if you're wondering about that a little bit, so you got to know that Guinea is not alone. So Zimbabwe has restricted export of raw lithium. So Namibia has announced similar measure for certain unprocessed critical minerals. And Mali has invested in domestic gold refining. So across Africa, we could see government are beginning to rethink the old economic model. The question is why and why now? So why? Very simple. Because the world is entering into a clean energy era. We have electric vehicle, battery storage, wind turbines, solar panels, transmission network. So all of these depend on minerals that the continent of Africa has in abundance. So you got to know about that. So the opportunity isn't simply to mine them, right? The opportunity is now to process them. This is how you capture the value. You refine them, you manufacture with them, and you create scale job. And this is where greatest value lies, as I've said. So here is an interesting thought I don't know if you see this thing this way. So if you don't, I'm always welcoming you to challenge me, to drop a comment actually there, or reach out to me, send me a message, and I'm more than basically I like those discourse, those conversations where we can actually exchange ideas. So here is an interesting thought I want to share with you. So what if Africa stopped measuring success by how many tons it exports? And if we started by measure success, but how much value we actually have created, it changed everything for me. Definitely changed everything. Because what needs to happen, according, as far as I'm concerned, we need, we know that export restriction, if I can explain myself this way, you know, restriction alone won't solve the problem. Let's be clear. What we also need is we also need countries to basically invest or unlock affordable and reliable electricity, modern transport and logistics, transparent policy that attract investment, skilled engineers and technicians. We actually need that, and regional corporations. So many African markets become stronger together. And this is exactly where I would say clean energy becomes part of the story because renewable energy can power refineries, mini grid can support mining communities, green industrial park can attract manufacturers. And the energy transition isn't only about reducing emission, it's about creating industry. That's what you need to understand, creating job and creating prosperity. And before I finish that, let me connect this to something completely different. Yeah. You're probably gonna say, okay, Tony, where are you going there? So let me sort of explain that to you, what I mean in here. So football. So this year, the FIFA World Cup has reminded us once again how much talent come from Africa. Have you noticed the number of teams out there with players in their teams? It's amazing. So many of the world's biggest football stars have African roots, and we shouldn't be shy of saying that. Yeah, and saying that is not creating a controversy. It is a fact. It's visible. We can all see. Obviously, one of the best example now, if you look at the French team, right? So it's what, two white people there. Nothing against that. It's great for them. France benefits from that, but it does show and say something to me, right? So, and country like and where actually African teams should step up and realize it, especially countries like Morocco and Senegal. They've worked hard to reconnect with players from the African diaspora, building stronger national teams. And we can see how they're performing, right? Now they're becoming scary. Many people, for example, don't want to, play against Morocco. Beautiful team. So the lesson for me isn't just for football. It's about value, 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 value. That's the word I want you to understand. It's about value, creating the value. For years, Africa, exported talent. Today, so what we want is African country becoming also more intentional about building stronger teams at home. So the same thing is emerging in mining. So instead of exporting only raw resources, the ambition is to build stronger industry here in Africa, right? And that won't happen overnight. I know. I know it requires good governance. I want to insist on that infrastructure, you know, skills, investment, and it also requires the partnership built on mutual benefit. But the Guinea decision shows something important. It shows that Africa is becoming more confident in shaping its own future. And guess what? Many Africans start doing it. It'll be difficult for the rest of the world to, I would say, this, to torpedo it. Yeah. And perhaps for me, the biggest resource Africa has isn't gold, isn't lithium, even cobalt. It's maybe the courage to rewrite the rules. Yes. And I mean it. So if this conversation made you think differently, I'd like to hear your perspective. Do you believe that African countries should process more of their natural resources before exporting them? I'd like you to share your thought there because If you enjoy conversation and intersection of clean energy, investment, Africa future, definitely make sure you subscribe, and let me know what you're thinking about those topics. Like I say, I like to exchange and see how much maybe my view can be different from yours. But I like to hear that. Yeah. So this is Tony from Renewables in Africa Sunday Talk, and we connect Africa opportunity with the rest of the world. And then I know you're going to be going back watching the news about all the World Cup. That's why I want to make sure that it's a short and sweet video, 10 minutes, just to make you think and open up your mind. Yeah. I'll see you shortly, guys. And thank you very much for supporting. I appreciate that. Thank you, guys. Bye bye.